We're now back from Transit Fest and the van is back in the workshop, so we've got to finish it off now. So what we've done so far today is the front fascia panel to the bench seat stroke third bed required fixing together. So we've put these stainless torque screws through into the wood of the bench seat because we didn't have enough space to be able to put framework in, because it's dictated by clearance for the fridge freezer. Also the bed height, and also having enough space to put your legs through to turn this bench seat into a third bed. We have also now panelled in the back end of the bed so that it's not through to the garage space, and we've had to share the same upright angle extrusion. So we've got fingers on the back panel coming through on that side, and then on the other side we've got them coming through the other way, so they fix onto the bar on the inside. We've also fitted the roof panels, which are in 3 pieces, and again we've put fingers on these so they interlink and follows the actual shape of the pod area. And then above the cab we've got this opening, that's where the amplifier's going. We've got the warning switch. We've also got another unit for the microphone for the amp, and then we've got 3 main sockets which are all here waiting to be wired up, and then we've got the control panel, and then you can see you've got the roof panels which will be held in place once we get that fascia on. So we'll use these tapped holes in the actual body of the vehicle, and then we'll also drop some T-nuts into the fronts of the extrusion, and then that should keep it all nice and tidy and nice and tight. We've also squared up the sliding wardrobe because it was leaning over to one side, because everything was done a bit of a rush so that we could get it to Transit Fest. So now it's all nice and lined up and nice and smooth. All we've got to do is put the bungee cord on the actual storage areas, which we'll do a little bit later. So all we've got to do now is just finish wiring up a few sockets. We're putting these 12 volt CBE sockets side by side at the rear, because we need one for the Joolca boiler, and then there's a spare one. And what we've done with these, because they come with these fascia panels which need 2 screws either side, when it gets a little bit tight we use these little aluminium plates. You can just see that one behind, and we screw the aluminium plates which have got threads in them, so that when we actually put the fascias on we can then pop the screws straight through and tighten it up, and then that holds that all nice and tight and clamps it all together. So we've wired up these CBE sockets. So we've got 2 12 volt ones, and then basically they will go back through into here, and then the other one will go next to it, and then we'll put the fascia on, tightened up, and then all you do is pop the fascia on, and that's our 2 12 volt sockets all wired up. We've now put the Ecoflow smart hub in position, so it's sitting on the main bracket, and then it has 2 angle brackets, one at the top that's connected to the smart hub and to the board, and then we have another on the underside also, so it's nice and secure, mounted up onto the framework. We've now got to pop all the plugs in. So before we plug it all in, just show you our distribution board. You've got your 6 AC, your 12 DC, all wired up, and the two main leads are connected. We've also put down where all of the different AC and DC go to, and then you have this frosted cover which pops over the front, and if I just squeeze that in, pop that in place, and that covers it all over, so you can still see through it, but it protects everything. Now that we have our smart hub in place, we have our distribution panel in place, and our batteries actually in place, so we need to start connecting it up. So you've got your AC and DC plugs from the distribution board, and on the side of the smart hub we have these little covers that pop off, and then if we take our AC and plug that in, and we take our DC and we plug that in, that's the distribution panel all connected to the smart hub. And on the top of each of these plugs they've got sprung loaded clips so that it holds it in and they can't fall out. We'll now start connecting up the other bits. So on the front of the smart hub there are 3 inlets for either solar, so you can have 3 different lots of solar coming into it, or if you've got an alternator you can use the alternator lead to plug into here so it charges from the car. We've only got the 1 inlet that we need to connect, so again it comes with these smart plugs with the sprung loaded clips that hold them in place. So we'll just connect that in, push that in, and that's our solar connected. So this is the touchscreen control panel, and this is connected via a Cat6 cable. So we've plugged it into the back of this. We now need to connect it to the smart hub. So on the side above the DC output for the consumer unit, we've got 2 Ethernet sockets. The first one that we'll plug in is for the LCD screen, and this one here comes from the distribution board, and that plugs in as well, and then we have connection wired from each of those units so that everything talks to one another. So this is where we've placed our 5 kilowatt battery. We have space for a second battery should it need upgrading to 10 kilowatts. You have a mains power switch on and off, so you can switch the battery on and off, and that shuts down the entire system. So let's get the lead and we'll get this connected. Okay, so we're back at the smart hub, and on the bottom we've got batteries 1, 2, 3, or in this one you can plug in a generator if you wanted to, which would give you power direct to the system to charge it, or you can plug in the electric hookup, which I'll show you in a minute. So battery 1, because we've only got the 1 battery, we'll connect the big lead. Again, it's got the sprung loaded clip on the top, and that just pops into there. That's all connected, and then onto the battery. So we'll pop the little cover off the top, and we have our socket on there for the battery, and we have our lead, and we'll just connect that one up, and that's all clicked into place. Now we'll switch it on, and to switch on we just need to press and hold that for about 3 seconds, and then it's popped on. So it's showing 79% battery, so we need to put a little bit of charge in it, but now everything should be fired up. Now it's all powered up, we should be able to get a readout, and there we can see the LCD screen is telling us 79% battery, 99 days and 23 hours. It also shows our inputs and our outputs. So on our outputs we've got our AC and our DC. If we switch that on, the AC sockets are now switched on. If we switch that on, now all the DC sockets are switched on. And then we can swap between it so that we can see the different sockets that we've got the 12 volt, and the first 6 are switchable, so they can be done either remotely from here or from the app on the actual phone or smart devices. And as we start to switch things on, it'll start to tell us what wattage we're using and the total energy that we use. And then we can switch between AC again, and you can see the AC sockets, and each socket that we use, it tells you how much power each one is going to be using. So that's pretty cool. And then on the input, we can see that we have solar. So if we the solar is switched on, we're actually inside, so it's only drawing a small amount. And then we have a AC hookup as well, which we haven't got switched on because we need to plug that in. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And then something I'll show you in a minute on the charging through AC, what you can do. So back to the Smart Hub. This is our AC in, so this is your electric hookup. So if we unplug that and we plug in our AC hookup cable, again, it all clicks into place with these safety clips. Now the other end of this cable is going to be connected to our on-site hookup, but for now we'll just plug this one straight into the mains to show you what happens. So before we plug it in to charge it, you can see on here we switched on the AC input, so that's where it's going to get its charging from. But if we hit the settings button up here, we have AC input current. So it's currently set at 9 amps, but you can adjust this up to 15 amps save, and at 15 amps I think this will charge at 3 kilowatt per hour. So with a 5 kilowatt battery, we're talking less than 2 hours to charge it from flat. So it's a pretty efficient system, but for now we'll keep it at that, and we'll go plug it in and see what happens. So let's switch it on and find out. So the indicator lights on the top of the Smart Hub are telling us what's on and what's not. So the DC out and AC out is switched on, and you can see flashing that it's got AC in because that's where it's currently getting its power from. And this is how much it's charging. So we're getting 1.9 kilowatts of energy going into the batteries. And then if we just click back out of that, it's telling us that it's going to take 26 minutes to put in the rest of the 20%. So with everything plugged in and everything switched on, AC's charging, the fans are about to kick in. Gets a little bit noisy for a little short while, but it is charging super fast. And there you've got the fan. So yes, it's quite noisy, but it'll kick in and out. But I think it sounds quite cool. So we'll come back to that in 20 minutes and hopefully it'll all be charged up. Now that all the power is connected, we can start switching on the lights. So we've got a single switch for the cabin lights, and then we have 2 switches for the exterior lights, one for the passenger side, one for the driver's side. So I'll go ahead and switch one of those on, and then we'll show you the features of the app. So this is the Ecoflow app, which is on iPhone on this one. As you can see, you've got their cabin lights, and if we press that, it switches them off, and if we switch it again, it powers it back on. And we can also do this with the exterior. So we have these exterior lights, and then again on the app we have the button on here which we can press, so we can switch the lights on and off remotely. So when we're out for a walk and it's dark, when we come back, we can just power the lights on and off. And again, on the touch screen, you can see we've renamed all of the sockets, or all of the DC outputs, so we know exactly what the switchable ones do. And again, we can switch the lights on and off by doing it in the cabin, and we've gone for these touch lights so that we can switch individual ones off or switch them back on. So it's a pretty cool system. We really like this. And then obviously input, at the moment it's just balancing the batteries, so it's going to take a little while for it to finish charging. I thought I'd better show you the actual Joolca Nomad kit that we've purchased. So what you're seeing at the moment is the washing up bowl. It's a big washing up bowl, but basically it's got lids that come off, and then those lids literally go into the sides and click in, so you've got your draining board either side of your washing up bowl. So yeah, huge washing up bowl. So that's the outer box, and then inside we've got a lot of hoses. So based on the hose lock type connections, so you've got a couple of cold water supply hoses, you've got some hot water supply hoses, and then obviously you've got adapters which are connected to them, because you can do quite a bit with this kit. So that's a couple of the those instructions. Take that out of the way, and then obviously you've got the hot water boiler. So I'll just lift that one out. So that's your hot water boiler. So you've got your heat control, your flow control, and it'll give you your temperature readout here. Takes a couple of D cell batteries, which are for the igniter, and then you've got your cold input, your hot output, and your quick bayonet connection for your gas. Water, you can either hook straight up to mains water, or you can use the pump that is supplied, which is a 12 volt pump. So it comes with the cigarette type adapter which plugs into the bottom, and that will suck water from a river, a pond, should you be off grid and not have any water, and suck it right the way up through and give you a hot water shower. So that's the pump, which is quite mobile. And then inside here you've got more hot water pipes. You've got your bayonet gas connector with your regulator, so you can screw it straight on. Also your batteries for the igniter. And what else have we got? This is your cable for the pump. And then you've got this one here, which is for your washing up bowl. And then you've got your flow and off, and this will kick in and off, or on and off. So when you fire it up, the boiler fires up and starts running hot water, and then when you've had enough, you just switch it off, the pump stops and the boiler goes out. So yeah, call for heat, switch it off. So that's for your washing up bowl. We'll just lay that on top of there, and then that's your shower head. So same principle, call for heat, switch it off. And then you've got two of these connectors. One of them is so that you can mount it and screw it to something, or you pop it inside there, and then when you pop your tap on, you've then got somewhere to support your tap wash you're using for washing up. And this one, which is for your shower, it's magnetic. So you can basically place it anywhere on something metal. It's a rubberized magnet on the back, so it won't scratch the surface, just so long as the paintwork's clean before you do it. But yeah, really neat. What else have we got? You've also got, this is for your filter. So this comes, it's a 2-part filter. It unscrews so that you can get to it to clean it. Basically, if you're wanting to run it from like a jerry can, you can pop that into the top of the jerry can to the bottom, and you can suck your water out that way. If you want to put it in a river, then you basically pop that through the bottom, it clicks into place, and then that will stand off and stop the filter from touching any sediment that's on the bottom of the river. So that's another cool feature. And then this big unit in here is actually a stand for the boiler, so you can lift that out and then place it on the floor. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this without disconnecting that. So if we lift that out and turn it over, I'll pop that on the floor. So your boiler sits down into that. So if you didn't want to be using it on the actual vehicle, you can use it as a complete kit setup, and have your gas next to it, your water next to it. So you've got a mobile boiler. And then obviously you've got your cavernous washing up bowl, big enough for a small child. So yeah, that's the Joolca Nomad kit. And they do lots of other stuff as well. It's well worth checking them out. Okay, we've got the final few bits to do. The last bit on the back doors is we've got to install the Joolca hot water boiler. So we're going to mount that up on this panel here. So we've cut a board out, and then we're going to be going round the perimeter with some Ecoflow to actually adhere it onto it, because we don't like putting wood screws into metal panels, and there is no reason for it to come off. But what we've done is we've put some inserts into the actual board so that we can take all the fittings off should we need to. So I'll show you those. So this is our panel, and this is the Joolca boiler, and then we've got the rear plate on the back of it for the quick release, so that you can lift it up, and then the boiler then just basically lifts forward, up and out. It's a bit difficult to do this one-handed, but then it leaves you the back plate so that you can actually use the boiler in its nest that it comes in, should you want to use it away from the vehicle. So the Joolca quick release back plate has 6 M8 clearance holes pre-drilled in them, and we've actually put 8 holes in so that we've got some adjustment should we need to. And then we're putting these threaded inserts in, so they give us the M8 threads. Quite simple to do. It's a 10mm hole. You want to be countersinking the top edge because it's got a bit of a flange on it, and when the thread starts you don't want it to be cracking the wood, but they're quite simple to fit. You pop the insert into the hole, and then with an 8mm key, it's got a hex in the top of it, and then you just screw it and drive it down until it reaches the home position. These ones we've already screwed in, but I need to use this and both hands, so let me get and fix the rest of these and then I'll come back to it. So we've now put all of our screws into the board. Before we attach it, we'll just show you the cover that we've got for this. So another product supplied by Joolca. It's a removable waterproof cover. So it's going to keep it looking tidy, keep it dry, and it'll look nice inside the van. So it's completely removable, and it attaches just like your jacket, and you unzip it to take the cover off, which then allows you access to the boiler. Okay, so you can see that the back of the cover needs to be mounted behind the actual back plate. So again, it's got the 6 mounting holes already in place, and all you need to do is line those up with the holes, then pop your plate over the top into the same positions, and then pop your screws through to attach it. So a nice easy job. But before we mount this up, we're going to mount this onto the back door. So we'll get on and do that, and then we'll come back to it. Okay, we've now mounted the backboard for the boiler. So we've been around it with Silkaflex. It's been on there overnight, and we just put a simple little strap around the door with some foam pads just to retain it and hold it in place whilst it was setting. So we'll get that off and we'll get the boiler mounted. So that's the back plate for the Joolca boiler fitted. So we've got our waterproof cover mounted behind it, so that zip on when we got the boiler in. We've got 6 fixings, and this is the unit that retains the boiler so that you can lift it out quickly if you need to. And then we've got a few other things that we need to mount up, so let's get the boiler dropped onto it. So the boiler fits quite simple. You just pop it underneath, push up, drop it on, and there you've got the boiler dropped on and fitted. And then if you need to get it off, it's literally, you lift it up and it comes back off, but it's being retained by this top plate, which holds it down and in place. So nice and simple. So we've now finished installing the Joolca boiler. There's a few extras that we've added. So we've now got our back cover, the front cover, which is this part, zips onto that once we disconnect the cables and the pipes, etc. So what have we got? Our hot water outlet goes to our shower head, which we've mounted the clip on the wall or on the back door so that it holds that in place. And then we've got our magnetic one here so that that can be placed on the outside of the van. This is our cold water inlet that comes out of the pump. The pump is plugged in to the outlet, the 12-volt outlet on the back of the van. This has been shrouded so that you can close the door and keep that all plugged in. And then our cold water feed, which is this pipe here, goes to the filter which is connected, and then that can then just be lifted straight out and dropped into one of the jerry cans of water that are going to be on board. Then there's an extra hot water pipe there, and that then will just connect, disconnect from here, connect up with the joining, and then you'll have enough reach then for that to trail round the back of the van, and then it will actually connect up to the shower tent that we've got mounted up there on the roof. We'll get that out a bit later and show that. And then the gas we've put into our safety box on the back. The gas is strapped in, and then we've also got a cover to go over once we disconnect. And the gas pipe for this has the quick release bayonet connection, so we can then coil the pipe up, pop that inside the box, and then lock that away, so it can be used when the tray is in its stored position, or if the tray is extended, you can still connect up to the boiler. But for now, we'll just disconnect the bits and pieces, and we'll put the cover on, and then we should pretty much be finished on that part. One thing that I forgot to mention, with the quick release panel on the back that this boiler connects to, there are these bungees that flip over on either side, and what they do, they hold the top plate down so that the boiler won't actually jump off or be knocked off. So quite an important thing to remember to actually attach, so it stays where it should. So that's our gas storage box with the cover over the front of it, and then the Joolca boiler has got this padded cover, so it keeps it nice and protected when you've got the door open and it's raining. And that's just a zipped cover, comes undone and then comes totally disconnected. And then the pipes that were connected, we've just got these rubber bungees that tie it to the back plate. So that's it, that's the Joolca boiler connected and ready to be commissioned. Okay, this is the Ecoflow Wave 3 heater and air conditioning unit. At the moment we've got it in heating mode, so we're using this end of the unit, and if we were to use it in a air conditioning situation, you'd have the same setup, but it would be this end, so the heat would come out this end and your fresh air would go in through the bottom. So in the heating mode, we've put it through the sliding window, and then you've got this magnetic cover that goes on to the window frame itself, and then the pipes go through and they're tied off, so everything's going outside, which I'll show you in just a moment. So these are your two pipes. You've got your air intake and you've got your extraction, so all your smells and everything else are coming out of the top one, and then you've got these little ties with a sheath that comes around the pipe to hold it in place. So yeah, quite a neat little setup. As we're just setting this up and commissioning everything, we've put it out the driver's side rear window, but once you're set up, you can have it coming out the passenger side, which gives us more floor space, and then obviously we'll be able to still access the bench seat and bed, etc. Now the actual unit itself, if I click it on, as you can see on the top here, this is telling us what our humidity is in the vehicle. This is the temperature that we've set it at. This is the gauge that the fan's on, and if we had the battery that you can buy for this, it'll tell you what percentage battery you would have. So we've got it on auto mode, but you can go through the different units. You've got auto, you've got your aircon, which is the next one, then you've got your heating, you've got blow, and you've got dehumidify. But if we keep it in the auto mode, it cycles through all of those options. So at the moment it's in blow, so it's actually circulating the air. The colour changes on the front to show us that it's just circulating, and then the humidity in the vehicle should start to drop, and then once it's happy with the temperature, it then goes into heating mode. This then changes to yellow to say that it's heating, and your hot air is being blown out of here, and at the front it's sucking air in from the cabin, sending that out the vehicle and bringing fresh air back into the vehicle to then send through here. So it's like a heat recovery system as well. So yeah, really efficient little unit. And this one we're running actually off of the mains because we didn't tick the option for having the included battery, which lasts for about 8 hours. So you can use it outside the vehicle as well as inside the vehicle. But yeah, neat little unit. and that will go away next to the fridge freezer. But so that's the Ecoflow Wave 3 heater and air conditioning unit. Check it out. And now that we've finished commissioning the heater, all the bits just pop into this box. We've labelled up what's in the box, and we can just pop the lid back on, pop the clips down, and then that's all ready for it to be set up on its first adventure. So that's its little storage position on the tray that sits underneath the bench seat. So we'll slide that away in a minute, but before I do that, this is the Ecoflow fridge freezer, 55 litre. That's all been commissioned and up and running. It's holding the freezer at about -14, and the fridge is currently at 0. It has its onboard battery plugged in, but we're running this off of the vehicle power that we've got. And then we just take a little look inside. So we've just put a load of water bottles in there so that it keeps the temperature down. So this part here is our fridge. So this is the deeper part. This bit is about as deep as that bottle, and then that's our freezer compartment. It's already started to freeze. It's not been on very long. So yeah, the ones at the bottom are frozen. And then if you wanted to change this setup, you can take this unit out, and then you've got the option of either having the whole thing as a freezer, or you can run the whole thing as a fridge, because you've got dual controls. So you can set what you want to be freezer, what you want it to be fridge. And it even has a storage place for this dividing panel, because it fits into here, clicks in position. So everything's to hand, and it's even got a light in it. So yeah, like this. And the cover on the top opens from both sides, and you can also lift the top off as well. Or lift the entire fridge out and put it outside, because it will run on its battery for about 8 hours. So all in all, really good product. And then to put it away, we just unlock it and then slide it back and lock it in position underneath, which makes great use of space that we can get full access to. So we've now finished the slide out wardrobe. We've added the bungees to the storage pockets. We've got 4 on this side, and we've also done the same on this side. And then obviously this thing slides back inside and locks in, so we can access it from both sides of the van without actually climbing inside. That's our pockets, so that we've got our instruction manuals, or some of them, in there. What else have we got? We've now finished the bench seat stroke third bed. So we've had this cushion made. It's got a nice bit of beading around it. It's in orange, which was the preferred accent colour. So yeah, that's all done. So we've got our third bed. What else have we done? We've also finished the fascia panel. So our fascia panel above the cab. So we've got our awning controls. We've got our amplifier for the outdoor speakers. On top here we've got our microphone control unit, which controls 2 microphones, which links to the amp, so you can actually talk over the music that you're playing. It's all powered up with AC, and then we've got our touchscreen control panel, which shows us our inputs and our outputs. So that's the Hardest Adventures Hardest Wagon pretty much completed, and we've even added a nice little Hardest Adventures sign above the bed, So when you look inside the vehicle, it's the first thing that you're going to notice. So yeah, really pleased with this one. That all looks sweet. So yeah, we're going to do a full-length video on the entire finished vehicle and what we've actually put into it. But for now, I think we're pretty much done.